You know what my favorite types of characters are? The minimal design characters, like few line work, very limited color. Such a prominent character and always sticks out to me. Do you have any characters like those? A good challenge for someone would be if they could create a good character design with such limited palette or a limited style. And this character you see before you, Prime, is based off the original style I had when I first started this series. But I decided to keep one remaining with the original design style, and I really love it for this character. Especially this character, Prime, because he's really based off of Prime colors, which is very limited on its own, if you're not mixing them, of course. But a good way to test one's skill, especially when some of you detailed artists out there, would be how good of an art piece can you create with such limited stuff? Could you get your point across with a couple lines and colors? Could you display the vibe you want with very minimal work? When I'm doing replicas or imitation type art, I find it very difficult to copy a character design that is very minimally designed. Since there's very little detail to go off of, I really have to make the lines that's there perfect and accurate. While if you're trying to copy a more detailed design, it's very easy for the detail to get lost, people's eyes to not get focused on one simple thing, so it'll get lost amongst the other details. As in, if I were to make a mistake on something like this, you'd notice it. But if I were to make a mistake on something more like this, you would barely notice it, and you wouldn't even be able to focus on the mistake unless you're really zooming in, and you'd have to look back and forth to see if it even is a mistake. I like to talk about this character a lot, and it's Bluno from One Piece. I love his character design. It's like a silhouette, and he just looks super cool as a character. And then you have Dimango from Samurai Jack. I love his character design as well. He's very silhouette-y as well.
It is as good as done, my master.
Then Death from Soul Eater, the Grim Reaper character. I do love his design as well.
Yeah!
And I almost forgot my absolute favorite one, Batman Beyond. Like, I did whole fan art off of it. I think I did a nice take on the silhouette design as well. Now that I mention it, there's an art challenge in my Discord that's about doing minimalism and making a character using minimal lines and colors. I'm going to be turning a couple of my characters from my series into silhouette versions or minimalist versions. And I know I've said this plenty of times before, but the inspiration behind Prime, other than Prime colors and neon stuff, is Optimus Prime,
Megatron Prime!
and Darkseid from DC. Mainly his beams, but a little bit of his color as well. Prime has a Dorito nacho head, and that's fine. Later in the chapter, they're gonna make a joke about it, probably. And you know how hard it is to draw a round triangle, a perfectly round triangle? I could be stuck on just drawing his head once for about 20 minutes, because it has to look perfect. If it looks weird, then, and it has to be consistent too. There's no shape maker that can just make a curved edged triangle. And if it doesn't look perfect, if the eyes are off, or if the head's too big and the eyes are too small, or blah blah blah, then he'll start looking derpy rather than more menacing and cool. I should do a picture of him just in the night, so you can just see how he looks from a certain distance in the night, just red blue eyes and then a glowing blue triangle. But the plus side of drawing the Dorito head is drawing the fun glow and then the energy beams afterwards. I find that the most fun because I can really make up whatever I want and how I do the blasts. And there's no real rule set to it. It doesn't have to be too consistent, just the direction it's going pretty much. So just like Darkseid, he's gonna have his beams be able to bend as well. I might make them red, I might not. He will be able to shoot red beams eventually, but I'm not sure if those are the ones I want to bend or not. So this is Prime's charm. It's a glow stick, which I end up changing the design later on. You can see towards the end, but it allows him to bend his beam, just like how Darkseid was doing it. But if you don't know, charms in my series are trinkets or objects specified for each integrant and allows them to manipulate the reality of their abilities. And this, he doesn't have a divine or activated charm just yet, but when we get there, we'll get there. But one fun thing I'd like to do now is put the little glow effect that comes off the beams or his head, and it makes him stand out much better, especially with him being much of a simpler design too. But yep, this is Prime from my series, Newman's Law. And here's the glow stick change I was talking about. I decided to make it more accurate.
I seek you, Samurai Chan.